user. Thank you. Okay, so you want to fire Call of Duty, you want to hit the settings button here, and you want to go onto the controller. Once you're in the controller, we're going to make sure our aiming input device is set to controller. And we're going to have controller vibration turned off. We're going to go into dead zone. And this is going to be one of the most important in-game settings here. That's going to make all the difference. We're going to start with left stick minimum. You're going to have that to 0. If you're having stick drift and your player is moving on its own with 0, you can go up from 1 to 3. If you have such bad stick drift, it's time to get a new controller. If you can't go, any lower than 3, I'm going with 0 for the most rotational aim assist here. Now for left stick max, this is also going to help increase rotational aim assist. You can go between 30 and 40. I have 35 here. Right stick minimum, you can go between 0 and 3. I have 1 and I have no stick drift at all. So if you have to go higher than 3 because of stick drift, that's unmanageable. It's definitely time for a new controller. So right stick max is 99, and I have left trigger 0 and right trigger 0. So before we get into the aiming tab, I want you guys to set your stick sensitivity. I mean, most pros go between a 5 and an 8. Some do 5.5, 6.6, 7.7, 8.8. I'm going to recommend a 7.7. You could do a 6.6 or a 5.5. This is mostly preference, so go with the sensitivity you're comfortable with. So now we're going to hit into the aiming tab. And we're going to go into aiming advanced settings. Once we're in here, we're going to have ADS sensitivity, transition tuning on instant. You're going to definitely want that, and you're going to want to use your in-game response curve. So we're going to go with dynamic. Okay, so custom sensitivity per zoom, we're going to turn on. So for low zoom, which is going to be an iron sight or an optic without magnification, most players will recommend to run a 0.9 to a 1.00 on all magnifications, or just not use custom sensitivity per zoom. But I'm going to recommend to use for low zoom a 0.70. You can go up to a 0.8 into a 0.85 if 0.7 is too slow for you. So 0.70 is going to be the absolute stickiest. And for 2 to 3x, you can do a 0.85 to a 9. The only cons, if you're too slow, it's going to make tracking a little bit difficult. So I don't use really anything higher than a 2 to a 3x. If you're sniping, you want to put the rest of these at least a 1.0. And my game's giving me a hard time. And there we go. So I'll probably just fix that later. So now we're going to go into the firing range. Most rotational aim assists on DualSense Edge use quick for your left stick response curve and default for your right. For FlyDigi controllers, use instant for the left stick response curve. If you have another Pro controller that can use graphs for response curves, try to copy the one off the FlyDigi or the DualSense Edge for the left stick. For Envision Pro, use aggressive for the left stick response curve. So now I'm going to test out in the firing range. I'm going to ADS on the dummy, and you can see the slowdown here. And I'm only using my left stick, as you can see to the left of the controller I have on screen. So this is just left stick movement, no right stick at all. I'm gonna, I'm barely touching my right stick here. So look how my aim is super sticky. Look at that right there. And you can see that it's pulling between both dummies. So if you see this type of rotational aim assist, you know that you got the settings right. Well, you constantly want to move your left stick while you fight if you could. Enjoy tips and tricks videos like this, please hit the follow button, the like button, subscribe to my channel, and thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.